Gimbal Hat and Selfie Stick experiment. I have no idea to the potential dangers with these materials or risks to one's health. The Oxy Day gimbal appeared to have thinner motors which would clear my ball cap easier, along with the mount that holds the camera can be placed upside down, which is needed for this application. I used the firmware that was built into the gimbal without an update. I did purchase additional GST connectors from eBay. I took the lower gimbal mount from the rubber connectors. I took a tripod mount to the local hardware store and got a coupler nut to match the threads, along with a short bolt to attach that coupler nut to the frame of the gimbal. Superglue was used to dab on the cloth on the top and underneath the bib of the ball cap to strengthen the cloth prior to drilling holes in it. My initial hole I drilled in the bib of my cap was 1 3/8 inches from the seam of the ball cap. The next hole I drilled was the 1/2 inch hole for the off-on switch. The mounting nuts that came with the gimbal, the closest ones were about 1 inch from the seam. I purchased additional screws to go into the brass coupler nuts that came with the gimbal so that they would have the length to go through the ball cap. I took either whiteout or paint and brushed onto the bottom side of the brass coupler and then pressed the paint spot onto the bill of the hat to mark where my drill holes should be. I used self-adhesive Velcro to attach the battery onto the ball cap. I later sewed the one sheet of Velcro onto the cap. I was afraid of a short on the control lines that manually raised and lowered the gimbal. And since I wasn't going to use these manual electric lines, I ended up cutting them off so that they would not short out with the nut that I used on the mounting coupler below this application. I reattached the lower coupler plate with the rubber mounts that I took off earlier. The cables were binding when the camera mount turned, so I cut the electric tie and readjusted the cables so they were smooth, and then used a twist-em to reconnect the cables to the frame. I turn my camera on and adjust the camera prior to activating the gimbal so that it doesn't burn out the motors. The gimbal should be free to tilt when it is activated. Mounting the gimbal onto the tripod, the unit can be used as a selfie stick. This sample was a hat camera without a gimbal. And the final sample is a hat camera with the gimbal being activated.